Some struggles are loud. Others hide behind a smile, a joke, a closed door. Every mind carries its own weather, and for some people, that weather turns into a storm that never quite passes. This is a look inside 12 of the most common mental health struggles, not to label people, but to understand them. Depression. Imagine waking up and even lifting your arm feels like lifting a mountain. For someone with depression, joy doesn't just fade, it goes quiet, like a radio losing signal. The things that used to feel warm, music, friends, sunlight, start to feel far away, muffled behind glass. It's not laziness, and it's not sadness that just needs snapping out of. It's exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, and silence that noise can't fill. They might smile in photos and still feel hollow inside them. What they need most isn't advice to cheer up. It's patience, presence, and the reminder that the fog does lift even when it feels endless. Anxiety. Picture a smoke alarm that goes off even when there's no fire. That's what anxiety can feel like, a body stuck in constant alert, bracing for danger that isn't there. Their mind races ahead, rehearsing worst-case scenarios before anything's even happened. A simple email, a phone call, a quiet room, all of it can spark that same tight, breathless feeling. It's not overreacting. Their nervous system genuinely believes it's protecting them. Underneath the racing thoughts is someone who just wants to feel steady, to trust that the ground beneath them will hold. What helps most isn't just relax. It's grounding, safety, and time. ADHD. Some minds don't work in straight lines. They work in fireworks. For someone with ADHD, focus isn't missing. It's just scattered across 100 sparks at once. A task that feels simple to others can feel like wading through fog, while something exciting can suddenly pull their whole world into sharp, electric focus. They're not lazy or careless. Their brain simply chases stimulation the way a plant chases light. Forgotten deadlines and restless energy aren't a lack of caring. They're a different rhythm entirely. What they need isn't criticism for losing focus. It's structure built with kindness and the freedom to work with their mind instead of against it. OCD. Imagine a thought that repeats no matter how many times you try to silence it. For someone with OCD, the mind gets stuck on a loop, an intrusive thought demanding a ritual, a check, a count, just to feel safe again. They don't want to wash their hands 10 times or check the lock 5 more, but the anxiety insists that if they don't, something terrible will happen. It's exhausting, not quirky. Underneath the rituals is someone desperate for certainty in a mind that refuses to feel sure of anything. What helps isn't telling them to stop. It's gentle support while they learn that the thought doesn't have to be obeyed to be survived. PTSD. Some people carry an alarm system built from something that already happened. For someone with PTSD, the past doesn't stay past. It resurfaces, uninvited, in a sound, a smell, a certain tone of voice. Their body can react to a memory as if it's happening all over again. Heart racing, breath catching, muscles bracing for impact. It's not weakness, and it's not dwelling. It's a nervous system still trying to protect them from a danger that has already ended. Trust can feel hard to rebuild, and calm can feel unfamiliar. What they need most isn't to be told to move on. It's safety, patience, and proof that today isn't yesterday. Bipolar disorder. Imagine living between two very different skies, one blazing and electric, the other heavy and gray. For someone with bipolar disorder, mood isn't a steady tide. It's a current that can sweep from soaring energy to deep exhaustion. In the highs, ideas race, confidence surges, sleep feels unnecessary. In the lows, even getting up can feel impossible. It's not a personality flaw or dramatic behavior. It's a brain riding waves it didn't choose and can't always predict. Underneath both extremes is someone searching for steady ground. What helps most isn't judgment for the shifts, it's consistency, understanding, and support through every season of the storm. Panic disorder. Some fear arrives without warning and without a reason anyone can point to. For someone with panic disorder, a calm moment can suddenly explode into a racing heart, shaking hands, and a certainty that something is terribly wrong, even when nothing is. It can feel like the body itself is betraying them. Afterward comes a new fear, the fear of the fear itself, of when the next one will strike. It's not an exaggerated reaction. It's a nervous system misfiring at full volume. What they need isn't to be told there's nothing to be afraid of. It's someone steady beside them until the wave passes on its own. Social anxiety. Imagine every room feeling like a stage and every eye feeling like a spotlight. For someone with social anxiety, ordinary interactions, ordering coffee, speaking up in a meeting, can feel like walking a tightrope over fear of judgment. They replay conversations afterward, certain they said the wrong thing, certain everyone noticed. It's not shyness, and it's not aloofness. It's a mind convinced that one misstep means rejection. Underneath the quiet is often someone warm, thoughtful, and longing to connect, just terrified of getting it wrong. What helps most isn't being pushed into the spotlight. It's patient, low-pressure acceptance that lets trust grow at its own pace. Eating disorders. Some struggles live quietly in the relationship someone has with their own body. For someone with an eating disorder, food stops being simple. It becomes tangled with control, worth, and fear in ways that can feel impossible to explain to someone who hasn't lived it. It's rarely about vanity. Often, it's about needing to feel in control of something when everything else feels overwhelming. Behind it is usually pain that hasn't found another outlet yet. This is a struggle that needs real professional support, not willpower or a quick fix. What helps most is compassion without judgment and steady encouragement toward the kind of help that can actually make healing possible. Personality disorders. Some people learned very early that the world wasn't safe and built themselves around that lesson. Personality disorders show up in the deep, lasting patterns this creates, how someone sees themselves, relates to others, and responds to the world. For some, it's difficulty trusting. For others, it's an unstable sense of identity or emotions that swing like weather with no warning. These patterns usually formed for a reason, as protection against pain, neglect, or instability faced long before adulthood. It's not manipulation or drama. It's survival wiring that hasn't caught up to a safer present. What helps most is steady relationships and patient professional support that doesn't give up on them. Schizophrenia. Imagine a mind where the line between what's real and what isn't sometimes blurs. For someone with schizophrenia, thoughts can feel disorganized. Voices might feel real even when no one else hears them. And the world can feel like it's shifting in ways that are hard to explain to others. It's frightening, not chosen, and not something they can simply reason their way out of. It doesn't mean they're dangerous or lost. It means their brain is processing reality differently, and that takes real support to navigate. Underneath the confusion is still a full person, with feelings, humor, and hope. What helps most is treatment, stability, and people who see the person, not just the diagnosis. Dissociative Identity Disorder. Some minds protect themselves by splitting the unbearable into pieces. For someone with dissociative identity disorder, this often began as a way to survive overwhelming experiences in childhood, distinct parts of identity forming to carry different memories, emotions, or roles, so no single part had to hold it all at once. It's not performance, and it's not multiple people in a dramatic sense. It's a survival strategy so complete it became identity itself. Time can feel patchy. Memories can feel like they belong to someone else, because in a sense, they do. What helps most isn't disbelief or fascination. It's safety, consistency, and long-term care that helps all the parts feel less alone. 12 different struggles, 12 different worlds, but a common thread runs underneath all of them. Pain that found a shape long before anyone understood it. None of these are just labels. They're lived experiences, carried quietly by people who are still whole, still worthy, and still capable of healing.